Hi everybody, welcome to This Week in Falmouth. I am Michael.
And I'm Susan.
I cannot believe how much is going on this week.
It was like a week lull and then bang,
Wow.
it's back up to normal.
Yeah.
It's normally like this.
And that's great, you know, so much to do.
There's much to do. There's no reason to have to hibernate, spend your winter all by yourself, right?
All right,
Like
what do you got for us?
Anyway, we're going to start out with strategies for seniors to make life easier, groovy gadgets, and sound advice. That's at the Falmouth Public Library on Wednesday, tomorrow, at 11:30. Representatives from the VNA Occupational Therapy team and from Eastman's Hardware to learn about favorite gadgets that make life easier and safer.
When you know those things that, you know, they
The
open.
reachers.
Yeah, well, that's a
the
groovy
reachers,
gadget.
yeah. Occupational therapists have groovy gadgets. They really do.
A must-see for young and old.
In fact, little known fact, I don't know if you know this or not, but OXO, you know that brand OXO that has all those grippy things?
I do.
It started out with occupational therapists that used to build up like forks and stuff with tape. They would just build these up, and so ultimately someone saw that and created the brand OXO, which I love that brand.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right. A lot of cool kitchen stuff by OXO.
Yeah. That's not a endorsement or anything. That's just a personal feeling.
Not an endorsement, a personal feeling.
So anyway.
There might be some OXO stuff at this side. You never know. All right, great.
On Wednesday, again tomorrow from 3 to 4:15 at the library, is Music Through the Decades. This is David Polanski, who will present the music of George Cohan, Irving Berlin, Hoagie Carmichael, and others using keyboard, trumpet, and vocals.
Oh, cool.
You'll be able to make requests, and he has stories. So.
Nice. All right. Yeah. Sounds like fun.
On Thursday, February 13th, from 6:30 to 7:30 at night at the Falmouth Arts Center on Gifford Street, is an art talk with Joe Diggs, Artistic Influences, celebrating Black History Month. Joe Diggs will discuss finding a group of artists that reflected his sensibilities in order to find where he fits in the artistic continuum.
Neat.
And he will discuss influential artists such as Ed Clark, Jack Whitten, and Mel Edwards, among others. Yeah. And then a whole nother bent, Thursday, February 13th at 7 o'clock at the Falmouth Museums on the Green. Ian Imbes, who is the director at Mass Audubon, Long Pasture, Ashumet, Barnstable Great Marsh, and Scucknet River Wildlife Sanctuaries, will give a talk on coyotes on the Cape.
They're everywhere.
Coyotes,
so it seems, right?
and it's not just the Cape, it's everywhere across North America. Coyotes are one of the most adaptive mammals in North America. They can live in cities, they can live in the countryside, they just adapt. And so this has helped them establish territory
all through here,
all across the Cape.
And there are so many. In fact, it wasn't long ago, I think it was last week we were driving and somebody had hit a coyote on 28A. And it was on the side of the road and the police had come.
It was still alive?
No, it wasn't, but it seems like, now you think there's more coyotes or turkeys on the Cape?
I think it's an even draw.
I know, right?
You'd think, yeah. I think it's an even draw. Anyway,
this will be interesting.
Yeah, he will also give you insights into ecology, dispel myths, and offer ways to coexist with the wily canine. We forget they're canines. Yeah. Anyway, Thursday, February 13th through March 1st, it's February 13th when it starts, Katuitt Center for the Arts is presenting Church and State.
I read about that.
Jason Odell Williams.
Interesting.
Performances are Thursday through Saturday at 7:30 and Sundays at 2 o'clock. Holly Cipriani directs. This is a serious comedy, simultaneously funny and heartbreaking and uplifting, examines how religion influences politics and how politics has become a religion.
In many ways it seems, doesn't it?
Yeah, it almost seems cultish, doesn't it?
Yes, it's at times.
Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. Anyway, on Friday, February 14th at noon, the Discovery Center on School Street in Woods Hole, the Peanut Butter Club is presenting the video Amelia Earhart.
Now, is this about, they've pretty much found her at this point.
I don't think they have definitively found her.
Pretty close.
They're pretty close. They have some real good ideas, but they have not actually identified remains that say this is Amelia Earhart. She, of course, was the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic and disappeared over the Pacific Ocean and has become legend.
Yeah.
And to this point, they're closer to discovering what happened to her, but they have not had a definitive, yep, this is what happened to her. Every now and then a new documentary comes out and says, this is what we think happened, and it's a little different from the other documentary, and so. Anyway,
one of
this
the great
is the video.
mysteries.
Yeah, one of the great mysteries. The Falmouth Community Media Center on Dillingham Avenue will be presenting the State Senate Candidate Forum on Friday, February 14th at 3 o'clock. Meet the candidates for the office of State Senator. They are from Plymouth and Barnstable District, comprising Bourne, Falmouth, Kingston, Pembroke, Plymouth, and Sandwich. That's a lot of territory.
It is.
The forum will be moderated by Mindy Todd. They have limited seating, so you have to RSVP for that. But they will be airing it at different times, and you can check their website, fctv.org, for air times.
Yeah, big election and covering a whole lot, big area. Of course, we have two Falmouth candidates that are in the race, and I think it'd be really important for people to be aware of what everyone has to say and see how it might impact us in our town and our area. So.
And since the primary voting is going to be on March 3rd,
okay.
Get yourself out there to vote.
Yeah, ask the questions, get the answers. Yeah, wonderful.
I don't know when the time frame is for having to register for voting, but you have to register a certain given time frame before the election. So if you are not registered to vote, you may want to check on that.
Give Mike Palmer's office a call, town clerk's office, and he'll be able to help you out.
Yeah.
Great.
Highfield Hall and Gardens music series continues on Friday, February 14th, which is Valentine's Day, by the way, at 4:30 to 5:30, and they continue with Bonbons, which is the second installment of chamber music. Features Jelle Atema, flautist, Robin Roberts, flautist and pianist, and Kathy Bonnet, pianist.
Nice.
And it's been created to support their winter exhibit, Persona Grate, Begin at Home.
It's a nice Valentine's thing to do.
Yeah.
Very romantic.
And if you don't want to listen to chamber music, the Brazen Bells will be at Highfield Hall.
That's right.
Highfield Theater on Friday, February 14th at 7:30.
Two extremes.
Their burlesque feature is Valentese. Valentese, hosted by Maid of Honor, M-A-D-E, featuring Dark and Stormy, with special guests Jenna Clough and the Brazen Balls.
I think Dark and Stormy's been here before. There's like speaking of cults, there's a cult following of the Brazen Bells.
They're very popular. Yes, they've become very popular.
So however you want to spend your Valentine's Day, it seems to be a lot of different things here, huh?
Very wide extremes.
Love it. Okay.
Katuitt Center for the Arts, they are hosting their Art Educator Showcase.
Nice.
These are the people that actually do the classes over at the Katuitt Center for the Arts. These are the artists. They have offered 250 different classes, over 2,400 students, and they will be having a exhibit of their own work.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
that's
isn't
just
that nice?
wonderful.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah. On Saturday, February 15th, at 2 o'clock at the Falmouth Public Library, will be author Sarah DiGregorio, who discusses her new work, Early, An Intimate History of Premature Birth and What It Teaches Us About Being Human.
Yeah, that's kind of neat, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
And then in conjunction with that earlier exhibit that I just talked about, there will be an opening reception at the Katuitt Center for the Arts on Saturday, February 15th from 5 to 7 p.m. They will be celebrating that exhibit and the digital and animated works of Karen LaFleur and the mixed media sculpture of Virginia Mahoney, who are both New England artists. So there will be 3 exhibits opening, and the artist talk will be at 5:30.
Great. All on their website, I'm sure.
All on
There's
their
a lot
website,
going on.
artsonthecape.org.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
Saturday, February 15th at 6:30 at the Coonamessett on Gifford Street will be the Valentine Comedy Show and Dinner.
Valentine. I love all these plays on words here.
Yeah,
so fun.
Those are our friends at Flapjack Comedy.
Nice.
And dinner's at 6:30. The show's at 8. Headlining the event are 2 nationally recognized comedians who happen to be married to each other, Al Ducharme and Bernadette Pauley, and the host is Sean Sullivan.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Woods Hole Film Festival Film Falmouth series continues with Human Nature, a documentary by Adam Bolt with executive producers Dan Rather, Elliot Kirshner, and Greg Boosted. The biggest tech revolution of the 21st century isn't digital, it's biological. A breakthrough called CRISPR has given us unprecedented control over the building blocks of basic building blocks of life, and opens the door to curing diseases, reshaping the biosphere, and designing our own
And here
children.
we're like living kind of in the midst of all this great
Yeah,
science going
this is,
on.
of course, a documentary
Designing
about
our own children.
designing our own children.
Too late for me to do that, but you know, wow.
Well, you didn't do so badly.
Well, I know, it's just true, it's true.
Mother Nature took good care of you. So, yeah. So anyway, yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yes, it does. Okay, and the list goes on.
And the list goes on.
Wow.
Highfield Hall and Gardens has started their estate walks. Starts on Sunday, February 16, 12:30 to 1:30. You can learn about the history of the original owners, the Beebe family, the house, the grounds, and then in the second half of the tour, Joanne Ingersoll, who is the curator of the current exhibit, Personae Grave, Begin at Home, will talk about that exhibit.
Yes.
See influential furniture, decorative art from the early 20th century. That's what that exhibit is about. And yeah,
Neat.
so, and that goes on a weekly basis. Check their website, Highfield Hall, for a schedule. The Simon Concert Series continues at Highfield on Sunday, February 16th from 4 to 6 o'clock with Gigi, who is a guitarist. It also is in conjunction with the winter exhibit, Personae Grave, Begin at Home.
That's neat, they're tying that all together in conjunction.
Yeah, and she's been here before and is very popular.
Excellent. Yeah.
On Monday, February 17th, 11 to 12 o'clock, Falmouth Art Center presents Sock Monkey Circus.
Who doesn't love a sock monkey,
I know.
right?
This is, of course, the Dreamtale Puppets, best for ages 3 and older. Sock Monkey Circus, yeah.
So, does Ella have a sock monkey?
Ella's my Australian Shepherd. by the way.
Beautiful Australian.
She doesn't like toys, she likes her Frisbee.
Ooh,
She loves her Frisbee.
nice.
Yeah, we have a soft Frisbee, and she would catch that all day long if you were willing to throw it to her.
Maybe we can just get a sock monkey and tape it inside and throw it. It'd be a flying sock monkey, you
She's
know?
never paid any attention to toys, but if you pick up her Frisbee, she is excited.
She's your best friend.
Yeah, she just loves it.
Nice.
If you didn't know it, next week is spring vacation.
School vacation, that's
School
right.
vacation.
Yeah, it
It's not
starts
spring
on.
vacation, is it?
Winter.
It's winter vacation.
Winter vacation, spring,
Yeah.
yeah.
School vacation starts
School vacation.
school vacation. So FCTV, Falmouth Community Media Center, will be having another winter vacation animation camp, which they do every year.
A lot of fun. I've been there for that.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to.
Oh, and with the new media center, they have a whole new room
Yeah.
dedicated to the animation.
I mean, who knows? The future,
excellent.
Wallace and Gromit series could be born right here in Falmouth, right?
Exactly.
Claymation.
It has to happen somewhere, right? So the morning session from 9 to noon is designed for children 6 to 9. And
Nice.
the afternoon session from 1 to 4 is designed for kids 10 to 14. This is a very popular series.
Yes, it is.
Children learn to make claymation. So if your kids are interested, get them signed up
Yeah.
soon.
This isn't Gumby and Pokey claymation. It's just really good stuff,
This is
right?
good
It's
stuff,
really
yeah.
advanced, so.
They teach you, it really is. Tuesday, February 18th through Thursday, February 20th. I think, again, in keeping with vacation and the kids being out, how to talk to fairies at the Katuitt Center for the Arts. So in 1917, I don't know if you know the story, I had read the book, 2 girls accidentally take this photograph, which they claim is 5 photographs of real fairies.
Yeah.
Harry Houdini got on board and said, yep, these are real. And so the girls became famous overnight, and they started a worldwide fairy craze. So Katuitt Center for the Arts,
Continues to today.
has created a mystical, immersive, multimedia performance with dance, puppetry, and live music, appropriate for children 4 and up.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I think so.
Who
They
doesn't
do a
love
great
fairies?
job. The
Yeah.
staging over at Katuitt Center for the Arts is
Pretty
phenomenal.
awesome. It is.
So
It
I
is.
can imagine that this is pretty outrageous.
That's awesome.
Tuesday, February 18th from noon to 6,
Yes.
there will be a blood drive. at the John Wesley United Methodist Church, which is sponsored by the Marine Lodge.
Yes.
Every pint of blood that's donated on the Cape stays on the Cape, and Cumberland Farms gift card for all donors.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You don't have to RSVP, but you can, and there's information about that on our website.
Yeah.
Woods Hole Black History Month continues on Tuesday, February 18th at the Spec Auditorium on NBL Street in Woods Hole. Hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray by romanticizing the dream, presented by Reverend Will H. Mabane Jr., rector of the St. Barnabas Memorial Episcopal Church.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then finally, on Tuesday, February 18th at 3 o'clock at Atria Senior Living, Executive Director Catherine Bumpus will give a talk about the history of Novska Lighthouse.
Nice.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of history there.
And its recent renovation.
And that's awesome. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's great.
And that's
So I guess one thing to keep in mind is we are not having our business after hours next week because it is school vacation
Right.
week.
So
It will take place the following
week.
Thursday, you know, at Bucatino.
At Bucatino,
That's
and we've got a lot of people signing up. The nonprofit, featured nonprofit, is belonging to each other.
Yep.
So go onto our website and sign up.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
we'll see you there.
And there's a lot to do. Have a great Valentine's Day.
Yeah, enjoy the week.